Hey everyone, One Big Boss here, and it's time for another New to Retro review. This week we are reviewing a classic from my childhood and one of the first NES games that I can really remember, aside from Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt, that is. We are looking at Little Nemo the Dream Master for the NES. So, let's get into it. Little Nemo, or Nemo Pajama Hero as it's known in Japan, is a 2D platformer that resembles the classic Mega Man setup, which makes sense since the game was developed by Capcom and released by Nintendo for the NES in 1990. The game is based off a film from the early 80s called Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland, which nobody really remembers, and also it was based off a comic strip from 1905 created by Winsor McCay. The story for Little Nemo the Dream Master is that Nemo is invited to play with a princess, though online and in the game guide, if I remember correctly, it states that Nemo was invited by the King of Slumberland to come to the royal palace. But upon arriving, Nemo finds out that the king has been kidnapped by another king, the King of Nightmares. So, it's up to Nemo to adventure throughout the land to save the good king, and return Slumberland to normal. Pretty basic. I kind of wish I knew which one, which was the correct storyline. But, because I beat the game years ago, but I didn't beat it this time through because I was actually running out of time to play the game, plus the frustration of the last couple of levels too. So, yeah, if anybody actually knows or can remember how this game ends, I'd really appreciate it. I could look up a Let's Play of this or something like that, but I'm pretty lazy. If you've ever played a Mega Man game, the gameplay for this shouldn't be too hard to understand. You play as Nemo, who gets a bag of unlimited candy to use. The candy is to stun enemies and feed to several animals that will help you along the way. Though some animals have the abilities to attack, others help you progress through the level due to Nemo's limited jumping ability and he has no attacking abilities. You need to collect a certain number of keys to advance to the next level. This can often be a challenge, as it was for me, because levels are very, very vast and keys are in areas that are well hidden. Sometimes they're right out in the open, too. But you would do well to listen to the advice given to you by the characters that you encounter throughout the game. Enemies in this game are non-stop, and I mean it. They will keep coming back onto the screen if you go too far to the right or too far to the left to avoid another enemy's attack. This really, really made the game hard and difficult for me, especially as a kid. I mean, I don't know how I beat this game at first. Like, I know I did years ago when I was with my cousins, but the difficulty on it is extremely high and extremely frustrating. Like I said, enemies are just, they keep coming out of nowhere. They make it really hard because, like, your animal buddies have limited range of attacks. So, I mean, like I said, the enemies really do make this game a challenge, and sometimes it makes me wonder why I still play this game. You encounter several animal buddies to help you out, such as frogs, these big gorillas, and even these little lizards that, quite frankly, I cannot stand using. They all help Nemo because throughout the game he doesn't have a weapon until he gets this little beam rod right here to help him towards the end, which is pretty much better than any of the animals since it's a projectile other than the bee who shoots a stinger. Okay, now for the part that everybody loves and everybody hates, but it's gotta be done. Let's start off with the bad. Okay, now what can this cute and fun game have that's bad? Well, I will tell you first off the difficulty of this game. It's harder than it should be. I have died many times due to its difficulty. The enemies in this are relentless and cheap, and the game barely gives you enough animal buddies with attacking abilities to aid you. Another problem I had with this game, for an NES game anyway, it was challenging, but finding the hidden areas was a pain because they were very, very well hidden. You couldn't even tell that they were hidden areas unless you listened to the little characters at the beginning of the levels. But, I mean, like, in Mega Man games, at least, like, you know, you'll go to the left and, like, you'll see, like, a solid wall, but then, like, a clear little window opening. At least telling you that, like, you need a weapon to get through that area, or you can jump into there if you have a certain ability. This game does neither, and that's what made this game pretty frustrating at times as well, other than the increasingly hard difficulty. My third problem with the game was some of the animal buddies that you're given, like this mouse. You see, he acts like the lizard, just being able to climb up the walls, even though you get like a cool mallet and everything, but the mallet is so broken. you can see right here in the video that I'm hitting the brick exactly, and it's still not breaking. You have to hit it at a precise time when you jump, and I don't understand this, especially with these like little floating spores that try to kill you. It makes the game tougher than it has to be. I mean, I don't understand why they did this or how they let it get past the final test run or whatever. This was something that really irked me about this game. Because much like, you know, this mouse and the lizard, the ape here, he can attack with his fists, but unfortunately when he's climbing, he can't hit upwards or downwards or left to right. He can't even attack at all. You have to literally be on the ground in order for him to attack. And, I mean, he can't even jump on any enemies, or he gets hurt. I mean, I don't understand that. Why is a gorilla hurt by a little purple lizard, where the frog can jump on it no problem? It's a frog. It shouldn't be able to kill things by jumping on them. I guess this game is just a little weird at times. My other complaint with this game are the checkpoints that you're given. I mean, in the first level, it's not that big of a deal if you die, because the first level's pretty fun and helps you get acclimated to the game. But later levels, like this train level, you get further and further into it, and it gets more difficult. And you find that, like, you die so late in the level, you think, oh, well, there'll be a checkpoint that I can continue from. There isn't. You don't get a checkpoint till way further into these levels, because like I stated earlier in this review, levels are very, very vast, and they just seem to stretch on forever. And especially towards the later levels of the game, you come across so many levels that just seem to stretch on, and they really make you think, especially the topsy-turvy level where everything's upside down, or, you know, Nemo's house, anything like that. Those levels are actually pretty tough, and checkpoints should be at least, like, should be given 2 per level for some of these, or at least after hard parts. Especially this train level. This one is probably one of the most frustrating levels that I had to play during this playthrough, or when I was a kid as well. My final complaint of this game is the life system. Nemo gets 3 bars, which is okay, because you usually find an animal buddy at one point in the level. That's pretty early in the level, actually. But some animals have the same life as Nemo, but others, like the gorilla here, have more than Nemo. And when you jump into the animal, or like ride on them, your life, as you can see here with the gorilla, you still have 3, and he has empty slots. When you enter an animal, you don't get the full life. You have to search for it. And honestly, this has caused a problem for me, and I know it's caused a lot of problems for a lot of people I've talked to about this game, because as you can see here, you know, I'm going to get the bee outfit, but I still don't have full life or anything like that. Usually, I mean, like right here, I've only got 1 bar left, and I'm trying to get a health pack that's a little right down there, you know? And these projectile monkeys make it tough. I mean, I got little projectiles of my own, but as you can see, it's hard to hit them, because if I get close, they'll throw the dishes out at me. Okay, so what is good about this game that seems to anger me and everybody else that plays it? Well, for one, it's a game that, despite its problems, it's really, really fun. Maybe because it captures that inner child experience of dreams we all used to have when we were younger. I mean, you can't say you've never had a dream where you left this world and became a hero in another. Capcom did a really good job at capturing the dreamlike essence, like the childlike innocence of dreams, and like, you know, like throwing in like little nightmare creatures that you may dream about as a children. I think they did a pretty good job. I mean, level designs like the cloud level here, and the topsy-turvy level. I mean, look at the background design to this. Look at the colors they use. They really did a good job, and I mean, you know, music came out great. Graphics came out great. I mean, sure, Nemo looks like a sprite copy of Mega Man, anything, which, you know, maybe he was, you know, but still, regardless, this game has it captures childhood fantasies, and honestly, I can't really say anything bad about the level designs, the graphics. I mean, yeah, the difficulty causes problems, the controlling, but still, I've been playing it all these years since 1990, there obviously is something to it. Either that or I'm just stubborn and I don't want this game to get the best of me. I don't really know. Alright, well, what to think of Little Nemo the Dream Master? Well, I mean, like I said, this game is great. I loved it. I mean, they really captured, you know, the childhood essence of it, though the difficulty was extremely hard, and it's actually what takes away from this game. I mean, this game could have been better if the difficulty was a little less and controlling was worked on a little bit more. But regardless, it's still a great game by Capcom. I'm not really surprised that we haven't seen it on the Virtual Console or anything. but still, like, I loved it. It's a big part of my childhood, despite the difficulty on it and how much I wanted to break my controller at times. It still has me coming back for more. I honestly need to take time and really think about this game and just play through it and beat it again. But, you know, if you can find it for a decent price on Amazon or eBay, I say pick it up. That is, if you have a Nintendo that still works, that is. You know, so, yeah, like I said, it's not a bad game. It's 50-50. If you like challenging games, or you like Mega Man type games, or you love retro games, I suggest picking up this game, if that's what you really want. Alright everyone, episode 12 is over and done with, so now we're moving on. Get your bats and gloves ready everyone, because the famous plumber from Brooklyn and his friends are hitting the field in the sports spin-off of the Mario franchise. That's right, episode 13 will be a review of Mario Superstar Baseball. Also, this will be the first GameCube game we review. I originally was going to do Smash Bros. Melee because it's a little easier, but I've done a lot of fighters in the last couple months, so decided to do something a little different. We'll go with this number instead. So, like always, if you haven't, please subscribe because it's free, and in this day and age, free's a damn good thing. Also, stalk us on the Facebook and tweet us on Twitter if you have one of those too. Leave your thoughts and comments about the show and everything else we do here. Alright everyone, that's about it. I'm off to enjoy my freedom from my job for the next 2 days, so I hope everyone else can say the same or can relax the next couple days. So, until then, I will see you all next time.